Welcome back. Well, I would like to welcome three people to our set today. We have Supervisor Lisa Bartlett, we have Joe Uberoth, and we have Brian Ward. And we're here to talk about the Dana Point Harbor Revitalization Program. Well, welcome all of you to the show. How are you today?
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Well, before we actually dive into all of that, because I know there's a lot to talk about, I have a lot of questions, but I wanted to have you just kind of tell me a little bit about what's happening this weekend at the Dana Point Harbor.
Well, this weekend in Dana Point Harbor is our big Festival of Whales. So we start off, it's March 5th and 6th, and we start off with our big parade in the morning, and we've got so many festivities in La Plaza and certainly down in the harbor on both days, and just really exciting times for bring the whole family down. People love to come out, walk the harbor, and take part in all of the activities. So we're very excited. This is one of the signature events in the harbor and for Dana Point.
What, did you have it last year?
We did have it last year.
But it was scaled down, right?
It was definitely scaled down, yes. And this year, it's a little bittersweet, but we are putting forth the Festival of Whales in honor of Don Hansen, who had the first business, Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, in the harbor. And so we're putting on the event this year in his memory.
That's great.
And it's a good feeling to be able to do that.
Well, that's great. And, it couldn't come at a better time where, coronavirus isn't as prominent as it was before, and now people will be able to enjoy all of the activities outside. So excellent.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, obviously, we're here to kind of recap. We had you on a while ago, and we talked a lot about the new program, and you guys told us all about what the plans were, and we went over everything. I'm sure things have changed a little bit, but we're here to have you all for an update. So before we talk about some of those details, though, Lisa, tell me why this partnership was so important.
The partnership is important. When I got elected to office in 2014, this was to be a county-led project, and it's a $400 million project. And I said, how are we going to pull this off as a county? We have $50 million in the Tidelands Trust. All the money generated in the harbor stays in the harbor. But we didn't want to pay as you go because that would take 50 years to complete the project. And so I thought about it and I said, why don't we consider a public-private partnership? Let government do what it does best. So we did street improvements and brought the purple pipe into the harbor for reclaimed water and then stopped, sent it out to RFP. And now we have best-in-class teams with waterside, commercial core, and hotel to bring forth this project. So what it does, it creates a project where the county owns the harbor, but we provide the P3 partner the ability to build out a brand new harbor, zero taxpayer dollars. The private sector team takes the financial risk, they build out the harbor, they get a revenue stream as well, as does the county through the Tidelands Trust. And it'll be much better in the long term because when you've got private sector teams, it gives the ability to get best-in-class teams put in place for the waterside, commercial, and hotel. And that's what we have. And they're going to be able to do things that the county could have never done as county government because we don't build boat docks as county government and other things. So we're really excited about some of the great features that the partners are bringing into this harbor project. It'll be done in a 5 to 7 year project timeline. And I think in the long run, the community will just really love the project and embrace every component of it.
Exactly.
I'm personally very excited. Can't wait to get things really underway. I think the parking structure is the first item to be constructed in the project.
So, Joe and Brian, when Lisa came to you to present this huge idea, what did you think?
It's exciting. It's in our backyard. We knew that we could work together as a team and make sure that all the elements could work together. And 2 years ago when we were talking with you, we had a lot of entitlement risk. We've achieved entitlement, and we're now about to go to construction. But what people will really be impressed with is how the water really interacts well with the land amenities.
And that's your specialty?
The docks are.
The docks are, okay. And how about you?
Really the land side. As Joe says, I think the unique thing about the way our partnership is structured, and I think it's kind of what attracted the county to us as a team, is the fact that we can kind of look at things holistically in the sense that, whether it's retail, commercial space, or docks, no one knows more about docks than Joe. We feel like we're pretty well equipped to handle all the retail and the restaurants. And then our other partner, who's not here today with us, Bob Olson, is incredibly experienced with hospitality.
Right.
And all of these are coming together at the harbor. And so we have this opportunity to kind of offer these best-in-class, sort of focus on everything, so nothing gets left behind, and do it in a way that we're all co-invested, so we constantly collaborate with one another.
Right. Which you had to do, up to this point, of course, and going forward. So Lisa, tell me, you said that the parking structure is what is going to happen first. Is it actually happening now, or is it coming?
I believe it's going to start in the June timeframe.
Okay.
It'll be a 3-tiered parking structure.
Okay.
Creating much needed extra parking for people wanting to come down to the harbor.
Okay. Okay. Good. And you said June timeframe. And who handles that part? Who's handling that part?
That'll be us.
That is you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're handling the area that we refer to as a commercial core, which involves the parking structure as the lead, as Supervisor Bartlett mentioned. That's the first thing we do, and the way that we're approaching the entire development is really in a phased manner.
Okay.
Because one of the sort of guiding principles that was set early on by the county is to really keep the harbor open during construction.
Right.
Right? We have boaters that need to get to their boats. We have restaurants that want to continue to service customers during construction. We have public that wants to continue to enjoy the water. So we're taking a phased approach. We'll start with the parking structure, and then we'll go into the latter phases of the commercial core. And Joe will be handling his construction similarly.
Yeah, it's exciting. People haven't been able to see us in the water yet, but most of it's built in Sacramento. And so we've already started construction. And so we're really excited. And so this summer, we will start doing 19 different phases of building the docks. And so we're going to have to move people around, but they get to stay in the harbor. And so at that time, it's going to be really exciting for the community because it will actually see the new facility starting to grow.
So how do you do that? I mean, so I'm sorry, tell me again what's happening in Sacramento?
That's where we build all the docks. We don't have to do the construction on site. We do it off site, and then we ship it, we'll launch it into the water. We will take out a section of docks and then replace them with new docks. And then we'll keep moving throughout the harbor over about a 5-year period until we replaced all 2,400 slips.
Wow. I didn't realize that that's what happens. That's really interesting. And you do that, do you do that generally with all of those types of projects?
There's a lot of projects that are much smaller. This is a really large project. It's the largest on this coast.
Right.
We did Long Beach in phases to make sure we could preserve tenants. But this one, it's going to be a lot faster, and it's going to be really interesting, but we're excited for it.
So what are you building, what do you build the docks with?
Right now, we've taken away wood, steel, all different elements to make them last longer and to make it more environmentally friendly. The Coastal Commission was really excited about all the things we're setting. A lot of it's new technology. And then right now, the technology on the docks for the boaters is kind of like a rotary phone. These new docks are going to be a smartphone. And I know the boaters don't really even understand all the technology that we're going to deliver. We're really excited. And you can do the talking, but in about 4 or 5 months, they'll get to really see exactly what we're delivering.
Okay, that's good, because I know people who do have boats down there, and they're kind of hemming and hawing about it. Like, well, I don't want to move, and I don't want to do this. And so have you had a chance to talk with the majority of those people who have boats down there as to the process? We have, and we have a lot more work to do, but it's exciting. I mean, the tenant base is only growing. Our wait lists are growing every day. People are really excited about the future. And but it is construction, so we have to admit that. People will be moving from place to place. Right. But at least they get to stay in the harbor. And they get to see that the new harbor is going to be delivered, which a lot of people questioned. Yeah. They didn't know if we could get through entitlement. They took 10 years, and we did in 13 months during COVID. Wow. So, but our application was 5,500 pages. And there's a lot of work that we've done to get to this point. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, and like you said, if you did it piecemeal, it was going to take 50 years. Now you get to do it. And when you said 5 to 7 years, I actually was shocked, because I went, wow, that's actually quicker than I thought it was going to happen. So, Brian, so on the land side, you said we're going to start with the structure. So how do you have to arrange all the different parking for people who still want to visit the harbor while that is going on?
That's a great question. Really, it's a very carefully kind of curated parking management plan. So we take out a surface parking lot to actually build the structure. And what we do is we replace that with parking elsewhere in the site. You know, remember there's a few kind of heavy demand generators in the harbor, right?
Okay.
We have Catalina Express and the customers coming down to enjoy Catalina Island. We have, as the dolphin and whale watching capital of the world, we have a lot of people that come down to enjoy that dolphin and whale watching and sport fishing. And so there's heavy demands there. And so we're going to carefully, place all those people in surface lots in and around while we're under construction, so those businesses can continue to stay open and thrive. And as well as all the customers that are just coming down to walk the harbor. Right?
Yes, yeah, because I mean that is a really nice walk down there, and we're showing a picture now of what the potential new walk is going to look like, and that is quite a difference. Quite a difference.
It is. And we're most excited about the linkability with the harbor. Dana Point Harbor is one of the largest walkable harbors really on the West Coast. There's not many places you can come, you could park, leave your car behind, and really walk sort of unobstructed along the waterfront.
Right.
So we're excited about that.
What happens with the Institute? Is it affecting the Institute at all, or is that pretty much just going to stay as is?
So the harbor partners basically have the entire harbor to develop. There are two entities, the Sailing and Event Center and the Ocean Institute, that are low-cost community serving leases. And at the moment, those stay with the county.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, great. So will there be any additional improvements there at all?
I think over time there will be improvements throughout the entire harbor.
Okay. Okay. All right, excellent. Let's talk a little bit about the lease. I'm curious. It's a 66-year lease with the county. So beyond the 7 years, what are we looking at? I mean, is there more planning, more changes after that?
Well, I think, look, as Joe mentioned earlier, we're fully entitled on the commercial core area and all of the water side.
Okay.
And that is certainly our primary focus at the moment. But there are many areas in the harbor that we have an opportunity to improve over time and plan over time. And we'll certainly get to those. I mean, 66 years is a long time, so we have a lot of runway there.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure it all works together and it all speaks to each other.
Okay.
And so it's a planning process that we'll be working with the county on and the city of Dana Point on. And but I think at the end of the day, it'll be a phenomenal amenity for the local community.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to ask each of you is, I know you're overall excited, but let me ask you about this project. What is the most exciting thing for you?
That we get to do it right. I built for a lot of other people. This time I'm now on the other side, and we really are challenging the industry, the marina industry. How do we deliver the next generation of a marina?
Okay.
And so we've done it, and we're really excited to be able to show it. It's going to be a showcase.
All right, excellent. And for you?
There's a couple things. I mean, I think that as a P3 partnership with the County of Orange, there's a lot of people obviously looking at us, and I agree with Joe that we have an opportunity to do it right, to do it well with the county's partnership, in a partnership with the county. And I think we have an opportunity to do it in a sustainable way, so it becomes something that the entire county is going to be proud of. I'm really excited also about the linkability. You mentioned the Ocean Institute, and really what we're trying to do is create this pedestrian link from Doheny all the way to the Ocean Institute. So it really, instead of various aspects of the harbor sort of in the past perhaps turning their back on one another, we're able to open everything up so customers can walk freely everywhere and enjoy everything. And along the way, we hope to drop some great little breadcrumbs that will lead the community all around the harbor and have an unbelievable experience.
That's great. And how about you?
Well, I'm excited because the harbor is over 50 years old and it's in need of major renovations. When the county was going to really contemplate a harbor revitalization project, it was just the water side and commercial core and nothing else. And I said the entire harbor itself, all the way down to the Ocean Institute, is old. We need to kick open the footprint and create a footprint for an entirely revitalized harbor with linkages, as Brian stated. Because when the harbor was built out, it was built out sort of piecemeal. So the commercial core didn't necessarily connect to the hotels.
Right.
And that didn't connect to other walkways and pathways for the pedestrians. And so to have an entire footprint of the whole harbor and have those connection points throughout, it's great for people coming down to the harbor. They can park in one area and either get shuttled around or walk from place to place. But everything is connected.
Okay.
And having an entirely new revitalized harbor is something that would be great, not only for the residents in Dana Point and the local region, but this is an international resort destination.
Oh, yeah.
And we get people from around the world routinely that come into South Orange County, and with a completely revitalized harbor, it will be a big attraction for a lot of folks. And I'm excited for the community at large, excited for the county, because it's the right time, the right partners to create a really significant project to take us into the next 50 to 100 years.
Right.
And when you talk about the 66-year lease, when you're expending $350, $400 million for a project, it takes that long to be able to make the investment, build everything out, but also start to recoup that investment.
Oh, yeah, I see.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Right. Well, excellent. Thank you all so much for this wonderful update. It sounds exciting, and we can't wait for the grand opening.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you want more information about the revitalization project, it's very easy to find. Go to danapointharbor.com. We'll be right back after this.